Uh, let's see. Hello, Instagram and social media. And for all of you guys are watching, this is Jay again, also known as Herc213 on Instagram, Facebook, I should say Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Twitter and YouTube, and also Patreon. And I'm here live, making an educational response video with you guys today. But before I start, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear my voice okay. And if you can, feel free to let me know. Because, sometimes my voice can really just dip low when I'm talking or dip high when I'm talking as well. So, feel free to let me know how my voice sounds at the end of the stream. But since I got that out of the way, I just really want to make a response video about the P.S.A to Boyish Men response to Tommy Lauren's video about her frustrations with boyish men in her area. And on it, I say like a few weeks ago, I saw this video, and I just really listened to it at first. I would never got offended at all. I just listened to it just, out of non-judgmental perspective. I even just listened to it. It's like, okay, she made some good points there, and then there's some stuff that I disagree with. And then I watched some other content creators' response, and they're ripping her apart, left and right. And I was just like, damn, excuse my language. It's just like they're ripping her left and right, center. I was like, whoa. It's like, but that was their response, and I can't judge them either. And with me, I watched this video again. I lost at least 4 times just to get a better understanding where she's coming from. And I wrote some notes down in my notebook just as an educational response to really what I agree with and what I disagree with. And I think she mentioned in her video that what I agree with her. It's just like to be direct with your communication. And I totally agree with her on that. Especially when it comes to, talking to people that you're interested in, whether you're a man or a woman, you're straight, bisexual, gay, wherever you identify with. Being direct with your communication is really important because it gives the people, not only yourself, but people opportunity to really just knowing where you're coming from and really just having the courage to just explain stuff to the other person what you actually want. So I really agree with her on that. It's really important to be direct with your communication. And also agree with her, Tommy Lauren, to make specific plans for meetups. Like, it was like, hey, let's meet up at this place at a specific time. And I totally agree with her on that. Sometimes people, if you're having difficulty just, making specific plans and they just don't follow through, that can really frustrate people. And making specific plans at a specific time at a certain place, really just making no drama whatsoever, make it clear cut down, make it obvious and, well, not obvious, but make it clear and straight to the point that I want to meet you at this place at this time, and really just making specific plans for meetups. I mean, that's a really good strategy and really good thing to do. So I agree with her on that. And also what she said about communication, but I wrote down and said, be honest about yourself and with your communication. I totally agree with her on that because she mentioned that, she dealt with people who were single or in a relationship or it's complicated or have a girlfriend or anything like that. I mean, it's really good to really just know where you're coming from and not beat around the bush and lie to other people and say you're single, but you're obviously not, because that's really disingenuous to the other person and honestly to yourself, because you're lying to them and wasting other people's time like that. And, it's really, especially for people, I'm not trying to, shame you guys in any way for doing these actions, but it's really good to really just really have the courage to be really yourself and say, hey, I have a like you getting to know someone, like say as not just like a friendship or anything. Let's say, hey, I have a girlfriend, but I really appreciate, I'm flattered that you're interested in me. And that's exactly how I would handle it. Like for instance, let's say someone was interested in me, and I would say, I'm flattered. I would just say, I have a girlfriend, a beautiful girlfriend, and I'm taking at the moment. So I'm really sorry to really break it to you, but I'm taken. But that's what I would say out of sincerity and honesty, like utmost bold honesty. And what she's mentioned that just be honest about yourself and with your communication, I totally agree with her on that. That was really spot on. And also, what I wrote down is just don't waste people's time, and that's a really big one too, especially for men and women too. But like for men especially, because when someone's on their say on their life path, or to say, and they really want to passionate about their goals and their dreams, and they're really passionate about stuff that you want to do, it's just like they don't want to have much time to waste. And as we're getting older, there's stuff that we don't really want to deal with. We're just like, oh man, we don't want to deal with this BS, that. And people don't want their time wasted, especially whether you're a man or a woman. And I totally agree with Tommy Lauren. What she said is just like, you shouldn't want her time wasted. And I think that's cool. That's a good point that, people don't want their time wasted as well. I believe that, time is precious, and because we don't, not sure how much time we have, because, life is, actually, this is a quote that my grandparents said, life's not guaranteed, but and how much longer we have. But I can't remember the quote, but all I know is that time is really precious, and we don't know how long we'll be on this planet. And so, like, the time we have now is really precious, and once someone is committed to their goals and really to their what they want to do in life, what they're passionate about, they don't want their time wasted. And I totally agree with her on that. And the last thing I wrote down is just like having a healthy self-esteem, and which is good. It's really good to have, especially man or woman, and whatever you identify with, because when you're having a healthy self-esteem, you have a sense of self, of knowing yourself. You know what you are, you know who you are, and you know who you are truly from a higher perspective, from a source conscious level. And having a healthy self-esteem is really good, can help you make you stay grounded to who you are truly as a person, and really just keep you stable and really secure. So I really agree with her on that. So I wrote some stuff that I disagree with, not just to shame her, not trying to shame her whatsoever. This is not an attack to her personally, but this is just stuff, disagreements with on an educational level. And what I wrote down is, the first one is just like thinking that men fail themselves. This is a thing I disagree with, because as a man, I can't speak for all men, but I can just speak for myself. Like when I was growing up, I always had a sense of self, where I was knowing, or where I'm going, who I am truly as a man, and where I'm going to, or where path I want to lead. And whether, even if I know I feel lost or I need some help with that, and to say to what she said is like men fail themselves is kind of really disingenuous and insulting, because deep down, so on a conscious level, and this is what I truly believe, and you guys can really disagree, men and women especially, we have a sense of self where we know who we are truly, and we know where we're going, even if we're having trouble getting to there. Sometimes we could really have difficulties in our path where we maybe feel like we're lost, or we feel like we failed, but we on a conscious level, we know that we know ourselves truly, and once we stay true to our path, we really have our sense of self where we could make it through the difficult challenges and really succeed and pursue anything that we want to pursue with the most confidence and strength. So I kind of disagree with her when she said that when she thought that men fail themselves. I believe that, people can struggle, but they have a sense of self within themselves, especially for men. So I disagree with that. And then another disagreement is just dealing with incompatible men. And this, I'm just having difficulties running this down because I felt like an attack to her. But this is not really an attack. It's just like a response, a disagreement. Because at a time when I was younger, I just had a stage where I was just like fed up with the opposite sex. Not just like I didn't hate them, but I was just like tired of the nonsense and all that. And I was just like young and impressionable. Naive at the time. I was like around my mid-20s, and I really had that kind of heavy mindset where I was like, oh man, why are men do this and that? It's like, why is this? Oh, they're just craziness and all of a sudden. But once I got older and really I just started to not only meet other people who really vibe with me, but also people who help me grow as a person of the opposite sex, my perspective changed. And I had to really sit down and really think to myself, and really start doing some shadow work and say, what am I doing or saying to really just attracting those kind of people who are incompatible? And with Tommy Lauren, if you're listening to this, and this is not an attack, it's like, it's just like, at a point you have to really sit down and really just listen to yourself. And I should say, for Tommy Lauren and her friends, or anyone who's dealing with that incompatible people who really attracted to that, they attract the opposite people who really they're just having troubles with dating. You have to really sit with yourself and say, what am I doing or saying to really attract those people? And really just how to sit with yourself and really just think that through, and really have that look within the mirror. Not say like a mirror like to you physically, but also looking in the inner mirror within yourself, and really just have that sit down and really make some changes for yourself to where you don't want to attract those kind of people anymore. So that was a second disagreement that I had with Tommy Lauren about dealing with incompatible people, or men, I should say. Because what we attract, we reflect back. It's like your vibe attracts your tribe, basically. And I learned this lesson when I was 25, and I really shifted my perspective and mindset about women, and really brought me back to a place where I admire women for who they are truly, and really just appreciate them fully without any judgments or whatsoever. So, and for anybody who's dealing with this, if I could change, it's a possibility that you guys could change too, because no one, there's a lot of heaviness out there in the world. We have heavy energy. We all have good and evil within us. And I'm not into the bashing game and say Tommy Lauren's like hating all men. I don't think she hates men at all. And if it sounds like I'm sipping or white knighting, this is not a white knight, because if a white knight just agrees with everything she says, I have stuff in my notebooks that I disagree with. So I'm not a white knight, because I'm obviously not white, I'm black. But I'm not white knighting whatsoever. This is just an educational disagreement about what she mentioned in her videos, in her response videos to Boyish Men. And I was gonna say is just like once you change that kind of perspective and heavy mindset, about why am I attracting these boyish men, you have to, and I can't even spit that out. Once you start to really change yourself, and about how what you're attracting to, it really, a lot of doors of, opportunity of change and growth can come to you in a really healthy way, and you might attract the right people who are right for you. So if, people can change like that, like myself, who had a heavy mindset of like, why are women so crazy, to I appreciate women fully. I understand that certain things in life, and I want to attract the healthy kind of people that are right for me, and anybody could do it, even Tommy Warren. So that's the thing I disagree with, dealing with incompatible men. I believe that, once you work on yourself and really start doing your shadow work, looking within your own mirror in your heart and with your mind especially, making that change can really be beneficial for every aspect of your life. And so the third thing I was going to say is just like thinking the world revolves around you. And that's, I just feels like I wrote some stuff down. It feels like an attack, but my intention is not being an attack. It's just like an old saying, like, I, like, the world doesn't revolve around us. We're a part of it, but it doesn't revolve around us. We all have a purpose in life. We all have a role, part to play. And, thinking that, the world revolves around us and it really just thinks like, you have to do this and that, or thinking that you obligated to certain people's time, or you think people shouldn't date other people just because, that really can really just bring some heavy energy your way, because, I never think like, the world revolves around me and think like I'm entitled to someone's time or opinion, or I think I should have all the hottest women on earth. I never thought that way, and I never will. And if I do act like that way, I want someone to correct my ass, because I know my sense of self, that I know that I have a big important role to play on Earth and what I need to contribute to society and to our planet. But at the same time, I have that sense of unhealthy entitlement, where I just need to say, the world revolves around me, or it's like everything's all about me and not everyone else. So that's a big thing I really disagree with what Tommy Lawrence said about that. And another thing is just like, dealing with high expectations. There are some, it's nothing wrong having expectations, what you want when it comes to your partner, but having high expectations, like, people can't meet, and putting people down for it is just can be really heavy, just because, not a lot of people will deal with that, especially with men and women. I mean, it goes both ways. Not one-sided person at all. Sometimes men won't put up with women who are combative or who are in your face like that, or will deal with men who are competitive as well, who are in your face like that. But there are, and people have those kind of boundaries where people, like, they won't tolerate that kind of mess and won't deal with that highest expectations. Like, hey, I'm not like that. Don't come with me with that energy. And just people won't put up with it. But I also say this. There is someone for everybody, and I truly believe that. And once you find that someone who you really 100% compatible with, or person or people, I should say, can really make some beautiful opportunities for you guys to learn, appreciate each other fully, and grow. So I really disagreement with dealing with high expectations, what Tommy Warren mentioned. And the last thing this is an important one I want to address, is just using shaming tactics to prove or make a point. And this is like, and this is not this is not like an attack whatsoever. It's just like, or this is like a major disagreement that I have, because, when I make videos or really trying to prove a point about what's going on in society or whatsoever, about, the state of our people's well-being, or our culture, I never want to use shaming language, shaming tactics whatsoever to really say, oh, those this and that and this with girlish, um, girlish women or boyish men. I'll never use that kind of response because that's kind of disingenuous and insulting to, you know, to people. And, you know, I disagree with her way, her tactics on that, because it's just like you don't have to put men down for saying like, you know, not all men, most men are boyish, and it's just like disingenuous, you know. There's are some bad apples, like I say not bad apples, but there are some people who have heavy energy who just, you know, are not incompatible with you. And, you know, it's good to really have those boundaries where you won't tolerate that kind of behavior, but, you know, you allow people who have healthy boundaries and really appreciate you. And really using those shaming tactics to really shame someone is really insulting and really just counterproductive, because, you know, if I said that something about women and say, oh, all girls are trash, and I'll be blacklisted and ostracized. That's the last thing I want to do, you know, because deep down in my core, I love women. I admire women. I know there are some women who are dealing with so much or have heavy energy right now, but I'm not going to insult them, their character, and say, hey, you know, why all these girls are so girlish all the time. I won't do that. I'll just have a sense of myself where I say, you know, there are some heaviness out there, but, you know, don't believe that most women are girlish, you know, and I don't believe that most men are boyish, you know. I believe that, you know, we all have unique gifts and talents, and we all face our challenges, but just really using shaming tactics to really prove a point, that can really just bring some, you know, it brings how you say, it brings, it reflects an energy where you're bringing like some heavy energy to you, like you get a reaction out of it, and also you're just asking for people to really just come at you. So that's the one tactic I really strongly disagree with, you know, using shaming tactics to really prove a point. Is calling girls I don't know, want to say it, but Tatianas. And I really had to look at what that word meant. I was just really, and I looked it up in Google, and it's a really it's a derogatory term for women how you say, women who embrace their sexuality, but women who are promiscuous too. And that's another topic I'll talk about in my other page on another day. But when I heard her mention that, it's kind of insulting to women, because, you know, I admire women who really appreciate and value their sexuality, and I think that's a really cool thing to have. You guys can really people who disagree with me on that, and that's cool. I won't hold you against it. And this is what I believe in. You know, that's the last thing I'll say again. Is just I really disagree with the shaming tactics that she used in her video. But I think that's all I wanted to share. This is not an attack to Tommy Lauren. This is just an educational response of what I agree with and what I disagree with. I hope Tommy Lauren is really doing well out there in the world. I hope she finds what she's looking for. I hope she stays healthy and staying with her mental health and her well-being. I'm wishing y'all the same thing too with your mental health and well-being, because right now, especially during this lockdowns and COVID happening, it's more important more than ever to really doing personal development activities where you're supporting your mental and physical well-being. And so that's all I really want to share. I thank you guys on Instagram Live for really just hanging out with me. So shout out to all my followers, who are just coming by and saying what's up. I really appreciate you all on Instagram, on Kirk213, on my personal page as well. Especially shout out to you guys who are watching this on YouTube as well. Because I will upload this to YouTube, and I just want to give a shout out to all my followers who follow me on social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also on YouTube as well. Patreon and YouTube as well. And another announcement I want to say is just like I launched my Patreon page, and I will be making Patreon content for my subscribers who are really passionate about natural solutions with essential oils and also with mindful movement yoga. So if anyone's interested in about that and really wants to learn more about the certain poses that can help you with your physical health and also with your mental health, and really learn about essential oils that can really help you support your mental health and also with your physical health too, feel free to become a patron of mine. You could set your own price however you want. It could be like $5, 10, 15, 20, 100, whatever, and I'll do my best to really provide you quality content for all you guys to enjoy. So I'm really making my content affordable and also more bang for your buck when it comes to your overall natural wellness. So again, I thank you guys for listening to and really just coming in the chat on Instagram Live and commenting on this video and saying what's up. I really appreciate you guys dearly, and I will see you guys again soon. I'm going to eat my breakfast and then create some Patreon content for my page for people to really learn and explore. And I see you guys around soon. And may your day be filled with unlimited abundance and blessings for your loved ones and your family and our environment. Namaste.